Okie dokie. In this problem, they say during the first 2 days, the culture count increases from this to this, and then something something. They say there's only an increase by only 593 over the next 4 days. What's the average rate of increase for the entire observation period? So whenever you see average rate of increase or average rate of change, just know that this means the slope. The slope between 2 points is the average rate of change. Okay, so they want to know what's the slope over the entire observation period. What's the average rate of change from start to finish? So let's think about this. They had the start, and they say during the first 2 days there was some increase in bacteria, and then over the next 4 days there was another increase in bacteria, right? So what's the total observation period? It'd be the 2 days plus the 4 days, right? So we have 6 days. So we had, starting at 0, there was a 2-day gap, and then there was an extra 4, like an additional 4 days to get us to a total of 6, right? So what they're saying is basically at the start, it started at like 78, 71. So we'll just like throw that here, 78, 71. So right at the start, it was here. And then it increased all the way to like 91, 30. So I'm just kind of doing a visual. You really don't have to do a visual anytime you do this problem, but I just want to show exactly what they're asking about. So over the first 2 days, it has a huge increase, and then over the next 4 days, it only increases about 600. So to scale, let's see if I can do this as best I can. So maybe, might be about here. Say plus 600, or I guess plus 593. And we'll get whatever that value gives us. But the main idea is that it only increases just a little bit over that next 4 days. And they want to know not what is the slope of this segment, nor what is the slope of this segment. They want to know what's the slope from start to finish. What's the average rate of increase from start to finish? So we're finding the slope of this dashed line, essentially. So for slope, what do we need? We need an x and a y value at the end, but of course we also need the x and the y value at the start here. So at the very start, let's think about this ordered pair here. So at the start, it's 0 and 78, 71. So when time is 0 at the very start, the population or culture count is 78, 71. And then we want to think about what is the final population or culture count at the very end, at the end of the 6 days, right? We know the time is 6, right? 6 days have passed, but we need to think about in terms of the y values, if at the end of 2 days it got up to 9130, and then over the next 4 days we added 593, we just need to add those two values together to get our like final culture count at the end of the 6 days. Okay, let me use Siri real quick. 9130 plus 593. We get 9723. All right, so 9723 is our final population, right? So 6, 9723. So I'm doing this a very long way, but in the next example, I'll do it much faster, I promise. It's just I'm doing this to explain the whole graph visual idea of it. Anyway, so we have these 2 points, start and finish, and we're finding the slope between these 2 points. So the slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So we will just calculate this and divide it by that. 9723 minus 7871. They didn't like how I said that. All right. 9,723 minus 7,871. All right. Siri is having a moment here. Let me type this in. I'm sorry. 9723 minus 7871. We get 1852 divided by 6. And that gives us about 308.67. And so this was the slope from start to finish. In other words, this was the average rate of change over the entire observation period. Okay, so little drawn out. I apologize for that. Let's go and do one more example, and we'll just talk about the bare necessities that you need to do. You need to figure out how long the observation period is. So during the first 5 days, that's 5 days, and then over the next 5 days, so they have a total of 5 plus the 5 days, so a total of 10 days. So we know that the first ordered pair will start at 0, second ordered pair will start at 10, or I guess, the end of the period will end at 10 days, right? And we know the start population is 7171. And then think about how we found the final population. We just took this number and added it by this number. So we will just do that to get this second y value here. 8323 plus 383. Good job, Siri. Redeeming themselves. All right. So now we have these two ordered pairs, and we just find the slope between these 2 points. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right. Let me break out the calculator. We'll do 8706 minus 7171. We get 1535, and if we're dividing that by 10, it'll just move the decimal over by 1, so we'll have 153.5, and we get that in option B. All right, hope that makes sense. Again, I apologize for it being drawn out, but I hope this visual was a little bit helpful. If you have any questions, let me know.